What's going on, everybody? Monday Night Football, Week 1. Almost in the books. It'll be in the books, of course, after we have an AFC North showdown. Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings, Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy. If anybody tells you they have any clue what's going to happen tonight, I don't believe you for a second. Obviously, this is a fun game because if you have prior convictions on whether or not Caleb's going to be good this year, whether or not JJ McCarthy's got what it takes to be an NFL quarterback. Now's the time to find out. Tonight's going to be an interesting one. We saw a lot of line movement, a lot of different things going on, but I'm here to build out some fun slips. I have using outlier.bet today. Outlier, amazing player prop research tool, as well as positive expected value, arbitrage, middles, game line research, insights. It really is an all-in-one tool. So if you guys want to support Outlier, QR code up in that top corner over here. Scan that 7-day free trial, and we'll be utilizing Outlier to find some EV bets, some player prop bets that we're going to research ourselves, and we're going to be cooking up some plays using the boost. So I looked at what we have tonight already. We have a couple of no sweats, a couple of profit boosts, same game parlay, just a regular one over at FanDuel. So we have also that touchdown jackpot, chance to bet a part of a $2 million prize pool there. So we're definitely betting some touchdowns. Got some profit boosts. I'm looking at FanDuel and DraftKings going to use their boosts like I normally always do. And see, we got some people funneling in on stream for today. And I hope a lot of you guys were on stream yesterday because we had a banger of a day yesterday with what we hit. One of the most fun week ones that you can ask for in terms of like one winning straight bets. Like our game lines were on point. Absolutely cooked on those. And we only missed one of them. But a shit ton of touchdowns, but we hit a bunch of touchdowns. So that was a really fun one. So let's do it again. It's going to be tough to find as much EV, of course, with just one game. Only one thing to take advantage of tonight, but we'll do our best. I got my promotions out like always. I'm all set up, and let's get after it. So using Outlier today. I haven't really used Outlier on stream yet, though. I've used Outlier a crap ton in my day sports betting. So gonna definitely focus on the game, but for those who aren't familiar, gonna focus in on some of the features as well, just to showcase so you guys can see what I'm doing. But a lot of great content coming out with Outlier for the course of this month. So right now we're looking for some player props. I want to start here. I have some EV filters that I built, and I also do want to take a look. So actually, we'll start with EV. I made a couple of filters here. I can go through how I created them with Outlier, what their functionality they have currently is, which they're always improving, but have my game lines filter and my props filter. Let's start with game lines so we can just talk about the game holistically, then build up the boost. Now, this is already something that I'm loving here over at Profit X. So let's pull up the total over under 44. This is going for the over. Showcase some of the expected value and the methods that they utilize. This is Profit X that has this available. But I think this is an under game, man. I started off the show by talking about how you're dealing with so much uncertainty. So we're definitely going to be betting plus money in uncertainty. But that aside, I actually want to go and see how the odds of this game have moved. I know that Outlier has real-time odds now. And I saw that there was steam. And we can look at the current number. That's Kalshi, best price, Profit X. The line has moved substantially. So looking at the line movement, this is for Minnesota. They opened, as you can see, like this is all the way back to yesterday. So kind of like this morning with the market more maturing, seeing a lot of movement here, minus 110, minus 113. But look at how we creep up to Minnesota, even money currently at Kalshi. That means Bears have begun some action in the market. I'll pull up the Bears chart on the other side just to showcase that it's going to see the same exact thing here, just in the opposite direction where the Bears are bigger dogs. And now you have the Bears all the way up to minus 110, basically a PK here. And this is Outlier's update. We have a bunch of books here to check from. Zoom in a little bit there so everybody can make sure that you see. But that's telling me that there's been money that's substantial on the Bears. I'm gonna say, and this is like a nuts on the table game, right? Like I think that the Vikings, of course, got a little bit worse down at quarterback with J.J. McCarthy. I'm not a J.J. McCarthy truther. But I'm also not a Caleb Williams truther or Ben Johnson truther. Honestly, I'm not. I don't think I'm just so biased from what's been going on recently in training camp and the reports. To me, it's not that. I think it just goes back to an overarching theory that we've seen coaches prove time and time again that some guys are just better off coordinators, while some people have what it takes to be, a head coach. And for whatever it's worth, I think Johnson falls in that former category. And I think that Williams is not that talented. I think this O-line still has work to do. And yes, they have some fun skills, guys, but I'm not bullish on Chicago. Flip side to Minnesota here. I love KOC. Clearly a fantastic coach. McCarthy, they obviously have a front office that at this point you kind of have to trust, right? Like they clearly have pushed a lot of the right buttons. So like the decisions that they're making, you're inclined to, think that they're going to continue to make some good decisions. So that's not always a good indicator. Their O-line still solid. They have just like a good overall core, coming up one of the better defenses. Bears defense is good as well. So I love the under. I did not bet it at 44.5 when it was at, and at 43.5. It's not the key number of 44, which is massive in football. But I'm just curious what pricing we can get here on the under 44. Probably nothing worthwhile, though we can maybe see some EV. But considering the market, I think it would probably be a bad bet. A 365 minus 120, actually, that's not so bad. And 129 at Profit X. Pull up some history, some data here for this total. I'm not really going to die on the hills of like the last, games dating back to last season. Obviously, it's game 1 of the season, but we can see some intricate measurements from last year in Outlier, which I love, because while this stuff isn't going to be like, okay, I'm making my bets on it, it does give you some context to understand what's going on. Injuries, of course, are huge, and as we see here, Kyler Gordon's big in the defensive back. Jalen Johnson as well. Those are 2 of their best defensive backs. Another one, Terrell Smith. Coach's decisions. I'm guessing that's just a maybe just a healthy scratch here. Viking side, we have Addison, who's hurt. Darisaw, who was out, of course, unfortunately. Amazing offensive lineman there. Other lineman here, Harrison Smith is out, a good veteran back. So this is always great. You got to know the injury report, especially when we're going to dive into some player props to build up these bets, which we're going to do shortly. Case Keenum. Okay, so this public betting stuff, I know a lot of people dive into. It looks like public, according to this, is Vikings, though the money is on that side. Spread, though, as we can see with the market telling us, it's kind of the opposite, because sharp money has been pushing this closer to a PK here. Insight there. So this is, I would lean guns ahead is under here at 44.5, the minus 129. Don't know what the liquidity is, but the best part about Outlier is you can they have deep linking, though. Novig, I know they just released their platform, but it's already working. That's great. So click on there, brings you over to Novig. We'll this is their old site, actually. It's like app.novig is their new interface, but they have that deep linking functionality with all the sports books. We'll just do view markets for now. I'm going to be betting using the promos there, but I'm curious the liquidity on that, because if there is enough liquidity, I do think it's a good trade. See, total under 44.5. At minus 129 is only 105.89, which is kind of telling me what I thought, because I thought that was a good bet based on the pricing, where the market is currently. Not paying too much vig on that, but not enough liquidity there, so won't add that to the card right now, unfortunately. But that's my thought on the side. Again, as just a Caleb Williams hater and a coaching staff hater, if Ben Johnson is as, I won't say as bad as I think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be out there to be terrible. But if like the situation in Chicago is as bad as I kind of think it might be, then give me the Vikings. I'll always take the better coach in a matchup like that, where it's kind of like most things seem equal, a little bit of uncertainty, like who you're going to trust, the rookie coach or coach of the year, who's also, since he's been a head coach, has been one of the best head coaches in the sport of football, against, again, a rookie head coach who had denied some jobs 2 years ago. Obviously a ton of success on offense, and that's his thing, but like they had like the questions about like him being like a leader and all those kind of like intangibles. So if I'm putting it on the record for Vikings, and I'm under tonight, but let's do some stuff that we can actually put on the record. Let's go to some props here, and let's build out some parlays. I want to stick to some of the main kind of props here. Outlier is amazing because they have all the props, but we're going to be betting the first TD score, that's for sure. I'm looking at interception props because actually I'm curious to that. Longest rep, longest rush. I like these markets, so I'm glad to take a look at those just for maybe a boost there. Attempts, not really in love with attempts. Passing TDs though. Actually, no. Might as well pull them up if we find anything. We're focusing on tonight's game. All right. If you have any questions in chat about Thursday, which I will be streaming Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, and maybe Tuesday. So don't get me wrong. We're gonna have all the football talk, all the breakdowns of everything. Don't get me wrong there, but I'm going to try to focus on tonight's game. I'm glad to talk some of the ball. I'll actually will at the end after we get some slips done. Can gladly talk about some of the things I noticed this week because this was like a very chalk heavy week, as we know. But I thought it was there's a lot of things I liked, a lot of things that were validating for my numbers. I did well. I cleaned up on stream yesterday, so let's clean up on stream again today. Let's focus here. I want to just curious with some of the functionality, implied probability based on the odds, which is always great. That props outlier showcases that opponents rating, some others hit rate statistics that I'm not in love with, but their actual feeds are what really catches my eye. So I'm going to go with again the concept per se that, or I should say, just the thought process, the overall. I think that Bears are not going to be able to just like torch them and turn up and Caleb is going to all of a sudden be good. So it's like, which Chicago Bear do I want to kind of fade? Somebody who I think is just still a great player, but I think is kind of that variety right now is DJ Moore. And I can go to the EV feed also. We kind of can go back and forth between those two because I did build an EV feature for the props that I showcased a little bit earlier, but I want to like dive into that too. But do you want to talk a little bit about this? So last year, the Vikings were allowing wide receivers to torch them. They were, really great against the run. I had some trouble in the secondary and didn't do a ton to really shore it up. Now, I'm not already I didn't already bet this, so I'm like trying to convince you here. I am curious to look here some of the odds, but DJ Moore does stick out to me as a candidate. If you want to look at last year, so he had one game where he went off, one game where he went under this listed number here. Chicago vacated a ton of targets because Keenan Allen left. Of course, Moore can catch some of those pop passes. You got Vernon Udunze. He also can run the football. Let's see if he has a rushing yard prop. I'm sure he does. Yeah, 4.5. Only at Hard Rock. We got Hard Rock fans also. A lot of the traditional books that are widely available. Outlier shows. But let's take a look at some of the line movement as well, which is always massive to see the sentiment. The over. This was 3.5. So a little bit back and forth on if he's going to get a jet sweep or what he does. But some statistics here. We could look at last year. DeAndre was that bell cow, but I know that Roshan's hurt. They have that kid Kyle. You got to look at some of the personnel. I guess they ran a couple of runs to Rome last year. We had 3 rushing attempts there. Red zone. But let's focus back to the passing game because that's where I am, inclined to fade for Caleb, even though it is a good matchup on paper with how bad this Vikings D was last year to wide receivers and as they probably aren't much better. But DJ Moore dominated that target share. But like you see here, Keenan Allen, 121 targets that are gone. That's 23% of the share. Obviously, they're expecting Rome to back it up, but it only comes back to whether or not Caleb can actually turn up. Rome's at 49.5, which is low, but under these numbers here. But you have to expect that these targets are going to go somewhere, right? And if it's not going to be to your, first round pick last year in a better offensive system that should be promoting, some downfield passing, who would it be? And the market's telling us here that open this low. This seems like maybe a gaff line. Settling here at 49.5. He could be actually I want to say we ended the season with some just stinkers. I'm kind of anti-Rome, but I see how this could be like a volume play. But I think he could be somebody. Okay, there's the receptions yards because I was curious about this as well because to me it gives off a reverse correlation kind of vibe where he might not be snagging a bunch of catches, but he could be putting up some yards potentially. Let me build out the lays on my phone as well because I've definitely taken all the boosts with you. So we have a no sweat on DraftKings for this one. Profit boost for an SGP. How many legs? 4+ leg, 25% boost. So we'll utilize that. And on the flip side, FanDuel, we have a 50% profit boost on anything, a no sweat, and an anytime touchdown we have to take for that chance to win $2 million. And that is if they hit the first or the last touchdown. If your guy that you bet to hit a touchdown anytime is the person who scores that. So look at the numbers here. Minnesota's still slight favorites over at DK, minus 115 on the money line. And also that Barstool, I don't know if you saw on DK, that Caleb Williams 4K passing yard boost. Count me out on that. I have no interest in that. But let's take a look at the EV first. This is my filter for game lines here. This is where we started. So some money lines and profit X. I've got to check the liquidities on all of these, but there are some value and potentially an ARB. We can always check out an arbitrage here, which is great. B365 and Hard Rock has one right now actually for TJ Moore rushing yards. So this is a great feature of outlier. For example, say we'll say $50. I'll do stick with 100 because it's easier. And then it shows you what you need to place. Then you click this continue. It will bring up the correct sportsbook apps with the page. Now, I'm not in a Hard Rock state, unfortunately, so I can't take advantage of it. But showing how outliers arbitrage works there. It's only 2.21% one, as you can see. So nothing big, but still some cash to be made out there. And some baseball. I mean, never want to say no to any baseball, of course. What am I looking for here? Let's go back to the EV. I want to get back to the filters. I want to change over to props. I could go through my filters if anybody's curious, but I have some books that are widely available. DeAndre Swift, 14.5 receiving yards. This is DVIG'd. Fair value is minus 116. It's minus 105 over at Hard Rock. DVIG'd to Pinnacle here. Those are the limits, 750. We know Swift's rushing share. What was his target share? 9.9%. They do definitely want to get him a little bit more involved, as I'm sure. Receptions. I am curious head to head, even though again it doesn't really matter, but just to get a little check there. Receiving yards flew over one game under last game, and last year too against running backs. We can see some of this history on some of the statistics here, which is always great. Okay, Caleb Williams rushing yards under. JJ McCarthy passing yards under. I'm so tempted to take this, honestly. Let's maybe add this to the parlay because this is going to be a hater lay. A lot of movement. It's only at that might have moved rapidly. Let me check my phone quick and see if I'm getting on DK now because we can build out. I want to build out this 4-legger. I want to build out everything, but no, it's 220 minus 112. Interceptions. I'm curious. 133 for McCarthy. 104 for minus 104. For Williams, but pass yards. It's 219.5 at DK at minus 111. So we can do an alt line here and take a look at the 219, which is good price at no big, minus 209, of course. No statistics for Mr. McCarthy, but then we go back to, again, we saw those injuries to their secondary. Those are like really, really important pieces to the puzzle. So maybe it's not a great look, but we're going to have to eventually stick it where we want to stick it for the markets here. But let's see. Passing TDs under for Caleb at Caesars, 0.88% EV. Could pull that one up as well. Minus 135. Had a good against Minnesota last year. He did get there. One game he did not get there as well. That was in Minnesota. Should be a beautiful night in Shy. Let's go. We could go like the full fade here. The Jim Carthy under 219.5, and then the passing touchdowns. For Caleb under 1.5. That's minus 161 at DK. But I cannot parlay those two. Wow. DraftKings not allowing me to parlay both quarterback unders. I have nothing else in the slip. That was not on my bingo card, to be honest with you. Interesting. Damn. Let's go back to games here. Oh, there's my boy Ty. I think we're gonna get my boy Ty in stream. Hold on. Let me get him a link. Let's get Ty. Ty's the boy. That'd be awesome. All right, so we have the touchdown jackpot. We know we're betting some first TDs as well. So let's filter back to TDs on props only. Let's just focus on on getting our first TD score and our anytime. I think if I do all, then unclick. Oh, yeah, we're good because I don't want to see them all. First TD, touchdowns. Okay. Let's see what we got here. We're going to do over also only just to scroll in. So Aaron Jones, 165. Thielen, 400 across the board. DJ Moore, 195. Justin Jefferson, the 120s across the board there. Jalen Naylor, 460 at FanDuel. I like that. DeAndre Swift, Josh Oliver, big odds. Let's pull up and take a look at some of what's going on. But there we go. Ty, what is poppin', brother? Thanks for joining
us. No problem, bro. Sorry for joining late.
Can't hear you, dog.
I'm kind of like I realized
Hold
over
on
the summer that I'm kind of like a Twitter addict.
I hope the stream can hear you. I know what's going on here.
Oh.
Sound settings.
Let's see.
Quick little celeb right here. Hold on. Output. Hit me with something, Ty.
Can you hear?
Someone let me know in chat if you can hear him because I can't hear Ty. I don't know what's. Oh, there we go.
Oh, can you hear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Yeah, dude. Sorry for joining late. I realized over the summer that I'm low-key a Twitter addict, so I try to keep Twitter deleted off my phone because I just end up like doom scrolling. So I kind of just got home from work and not gonna lie, Eric, I don't know what you've been talking about with bets, but I just hopped on my Bet365 account and placed the biggest bet I've placed in a while.
Tell me, bro. Tell me, what did you just lock in?
Kyle Monungai over 3.5 rushing attempts. Roshan Johnson is out, and I just don't think Swift is like a workhorse. And he's already played under Ben Johnson and barely got any touches. Like he was the clear-cut backup to Jamal Williams. And 4 rushing attempts, dude. I probably just lost my Bet365 account, but dude, honestly, I feel good about it.
Bro, he's not even showing up over here on Outlier right now. Is that the only place you saw that available?
It's on Underdog, too, which I don't know if Eric, I don't know if you knew this, but I'm in North Carolina now, and I can bet straight bets on Underdog.
Interesting. How's that legality work?
I don't know, dude. I just kind of went on one day and tried betting something straight, and it let me. I don't know why.
I mean, I know that they are converting a little bit more to a prediction market kind of situation going on. So maybe that's maybe that rolled out, and that's you seeing the fruits of that immediately.
Yeah, 100%.
So and that's a prediction market. So they're messing with their offerings. So maybe you got some more options now.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's big if it is for everyone because I mean, Underdog posts like every single line possible, dude. Like, you know, the books that the FanDuels will never post because they know they can't accurately project it.
Dude, I was just trying to parlay on DraftKings because I'm utilizing all the boosts for the boys. Of course, we're going to boost out whatever we got. And on DraftKings, I can't SGP a Caleb Williams touchdown passing under and a McCarthy passing yards under.
Why?
That's a great question. I'm in the same game parlay builder. You know that I love to mix up their feed there. Passing prop, McCarthy under, and I did passing yards on. It just said you can't SGP. I don't understand, bro. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's it's not like you're trying. It's not like you're trying to parlay like a pass attempt over and a passing yards over or something.
No, not at all. And now the line actually moved 3 points now that since we discussed that, unfortunately, but just moved again in the slip, except the line change. What was it? It's at 218.5. It was 219.5. Everybody knows when we really talked about this 12 seconds ago. And let me see. Now that I'm in the other view, and I know for a fact in the other view, Caleb Williams passing touchdowns. It's only putting the over. Like I'm not allowed to parlay 2 different quarterbacks to both do poorly, and not even the same market for that matter.
Is it supposed to be like rainy or something, or is your screen just showing plus EV?
No, I'm just fading. I'm not even seeing the plus EV. These are plays that like I saw some EV on the Caleb Williams under, but the McCarthy under is more just like I'm taking a stand on this game with 2 rookie quarterbacks that I'm sure the market, as well as they can price most things, I'm taking a stand against the market that they're both just bad at quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I mean Caleb, of course, not a rookie, but rookie head coach, new system, new everything, all the hype. I'm fading the Caleb Williams hype train. I'm fading them, and I'm also just fading the McCarthy isms in general. Todd, do you have a strong feeling either way on McCarthy or Caleb Williams in year 2 with Ben Johnson?
Yeah, I actually do. So I have a strong feeling. Actually, my other official play, I played McCarthy under passing attempts, and I know it's showing on the EV screen that over 31.5 is a good bet. But dude, I mean, I just don't I mean the Vikings have a great O line. They have two really solid running backs. Their defense is always going to be really good under Flores. I do think that inevitably the Bears offense will get better, but I don't think that they're going to be like boat racing a top defense, with how bad Caleb looked. So I think that they're going to take it easy on JJ. Think it's going to be more so a run first attack from the Vikings.
Absolutely. Vino letting us know. You can parlay the QB under 365, which is great to know. Hopefully they have a boost. We want to get a four-legger for the DraftKings boost. Try to get as many EV legs as possible. But of course, we are betting, a four-leg lay 20 minutes before game time. So as much EV as we can possibly get, we're going to take. But if you're interested in that look, that's a 365. But no, I agree with you because it's also just like there's no way they trust him. I actually think they're going to let him use his legs a little bit himself, McCarthy, on some naked boots. That's going to take away some attempts. And again, like Chicago, I'm just bullish on the whole thing. I do expect this to be an under type of game as well. I don't see them because like Sam Darnold, right? Even Daniel Jones yesterday is a good example. Like you have Shane Steichen, great offensive head coach. You know what Daniel Jones can do, good and bad and ugly, despite some of the situations he had. But what do? They let him run the football. They let him make some easy throws, and that's what a great coach and a great team can do. You could think that O'Connell could do the same thing with McCarthy. And like they're the only people who really know if he's good or not. They watch him practice every day this year. They of course saw what he did in meeting rooms, etc. last year. But it's like, how good do you really think JJ McCarthy is going to be? And like, I trust the Vikings as an organization. They've made some great decisions, but I can't get there yet on week one on the road.
Nope, exactly. Prime time too. I know that. I mean, you think about how McCarthy was in college, dude. Like he's comfortable in those run first settings. Game manager. I'd be shocked if like they're just come out guns blazing with him dropping back like 5 straight times or something.
Absolutely. And I'm trying to maybe see if we get for one of the legs for the parlay to be a JJ McCarthy pass attempts under. And there we go. Under 29.5. What number did you get it at?
31.5.
31.5.
Yep.
Unfortunately, 2 attempts less, which is worse, a terrible pricing. But again, we're trying to build something with the boost that we have at DraftKings to make things a little bit more manageable and just to have some fun for tonight. But never love kind of being forced into negative EV spots, right, Ty?
Yeah. Eric, go back to that EV thing. Did I just see a DeAndre Swift 15.5 rushing attempt line?
Over 14.5 right here. Minus 105 at MGM. Even money at MGM.
Is there a 15.5 out there? Because I really like the under personally.
15.5. We have an under 15.5 at DraftKings.
Okay. That's just kind of going off of vibes, dude. I think that Swift stinks. Like, I don't think he's a 16 rush attempt guy. And the Vikings had a great run defense too last year.
So who do you think the beneficiary on the Bears offense is going to be? You say it's Kyle Mond guy. I know he took the 4+ rush attempts, but in the grand scheme of the game, that's only 4 plays. So where do you think it's going to be straight shots to Odunze? Is going to be to DJ Moore? Is going to get fed? They kind of have to because they lost 121 targets that they gave to Keenan Allen last year in that offense. Where is your projected distribution?
For sure. So you got to remember they're facing Brian Flores. He's going to be blitzing
the hell out of
blitzing like a motherfucker. He's going to have to be getting the ball out quick. I think that DJ Moore could have a pretty good game reception wise. I think he'll get a lot of schemed. Like I wouldn't be shocked if he got 2 or 3 like schemed layups, to be honest. I don't think you want Rome in like a yak role, but I think that's like the people who you'll want to get the rock to. So I think it's going to be a lot of DJ Moore early. But I know that the Vikings, like I said, they were a huge pass funnel last year. I think they allowed like the most like targets and receptions to a wide receivers. But like I said, they're going to play 2 high shell, play a lot of zone. It's weird. Flores will blitz, but he's still playing 2 high in zone defense. So a lot of underneath stuff.
He's daring you a little bit there as well. But Ty, I'm looking at McCarthy. That just moved to 28.5 now as well in the bet slip. So
really.
Yes, so we're gonna have to unfortunately evacuate that leg. I was willing to do
the I don't know if I like that number.
Yeah, that's a big difference here, and of course, we're not getting for a little parlay boost a possibility to take the Swift under. But I agree with you. I was thinking about Odunze potentially being like a good negative correlation play tonight, low receiving receptions, high receiving yards, but his line is still 3.5 for receiving yards. I mean, for receptions, excuse me. Like if it was at 4.5, I feel like I kind of would have just locked in a little negative correlation, not thought twice.
Does DraftKings have first quarter props?
They have some, yes.
Are those available to SGP?
Yes, they are.
Okay, I'm kind of been vibing with those, to be honest. I played Eckler 10 plus first quarter rushing and receiving yards yesterday because I just thought that they were gonna come out like, respect the vet and have him start, especially once Rodriguez wasn't playing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there's a good edge to be had on those. Like I think that because when you think of the scripted plays and stuff, they've been thinking about this Minnesota matchup for so long. They're gonna have a ton of quick hitters. So I think maybe once you get off the scripted plays, then DJ Moore will start to struggle. But I do think his success is going to come early. So I don't know what his first quarter lines are at, but
I'm seeing right now 10 receiving yards, 10 plus receiving yards. They have it in that menu where it's not like over under, where they're showcasing just a bunch of potential overs you can take. So the options there are 5 plus at minus 229 and 10 plus at minus 114.
Okay. Do they have receptions
for the first quarter? Scrolling right now. Not see. Oh, they do have an over under. It's 7.5 for DJ Moore, minus 170 for first quarter receiving yards. Receptions. Yes, they have receptions. 2 plus 187.
Ooh, I kind of like that. What is
like
one?
One is minus 244.
Oh, hell no. Dude, I kind of like that 2 number. I'm not gonna lie.
How's the 3 plus at plus 596 sound now?
Plus. Damn. I mean, I think it's worth it. Dude, 3 receptions in a quarter is kind of a lot. Let's be real, especially. But I think that the plus 187 for 2 plus, I'm looking at that 2 right now. I think that's a little bit juicy, personally.
Absolutely. No, I'm absolutely intrigued by that because I do agree with you with the scheme that they're going to be utilizing DJ Moore a little bit more in that game. I think that doesn't necessarily lead to, like you said, a big receiving yard game, but I do think it does lead to a high reception game because that's going to be a situation where they do look to, maybe target him a little bit early. But back to Odunze, I feel like at his number, like, of course, he had a terrible end to the year, sitting at around like 50.5 for his receiving yards. We could pull it up. At that point, though, Ty, is that something that it's like a ceiling outcome you'd rather target there for like a Rome like 70 plus, or is it something you just don't want any interest in?
Yeah, I think that Rome. I don't like the matchup, man. I think that Rome's going to be more so a downfield guy, and I just don't think Caleb's going to have time to throw. And I'd like to see a team that like plays a little bit more man for Rome. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't have like the numbers in front of me, but people like Rome, like these big bodied receivers, typically are better at beating man than zone. Mm-hmm. So Absolutely. That's kind of my take on Rome. I think he'll be good though this year. I think he has a good chance of like just being straight up better than DJ Moore, but kind of like more in this spot.
Yeah, no, I love Rome. I do like Rome's like athletic profile. I like the DJ Moore, like a sharper person than I am. I know he was a big fan of his season long under for DJ Moore, like receiving yards. Who everyone, of course, I think is hopping to that over there, or at least thinking that it is a situation that they want to, potentially get him. But I do think I'm a little bit mixed on Rome though. Ty, not gonna lie, because part of me thinks that like I agree with you. The Flores defense, like if you're going to do like a jump ball ish receiver with that body size, like it is better against man. But like, the Vikings receiving core is so bad. And this is something also in the injury report. I don't know if you got a chance to see, but you have TJ Edwards, a big linebacker, out, but you also have Kyler Gordon, who's out for defensive back, out for the Bears, and then Jalen Johnson out for the Bears as well. That's why I was kind of leaning against McCarthy a little bit. But back to the Rome Odunze, and just more of like a. Whenever there's uncertainty, Ty, rookies, this goes for all sports, rookies, got off an injury, etc. I like to hunt for the plus money. Now, again, Rome Odunze is not a rookie, but new system, new vibe. Like, if Rome actually is a stud, like plus 200 isn't like an amazing odds for a touchdown. Don't get me wrong here, but it could be a situation where it's like you're seeing a 2-1, and like you might be getting like the best of it because it might not be. Back to like the receiving yard is probably a better example. Like 50.5, if he actually gets a stud, you're probably not going to see a 50.5 again until it's like a terrible matchup or like a weather game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree completely, dude. Like week 1 with the new offensive coordinator, like especially one that's going to be a massive upgrade. There's really no better time to buy into upside. Like what you said, like if Rome comes out and has 9 targets, 7 receptions, 110, dude, his line's going to be like 60 plus for the rest of the year. So No, I do agree with that. And I think, like I said, I think the overall passing volume is going to be really good for the Bears too. So it's like take a stab that him and Johnson, are just going to be a really good duo in a game that, they shouldn't be able to establish run very well. And, you can easily paint a picture where he has a pretty big game.
Absolutely. I'm hating that DraftKings give me 133 compared to the market. BTXQ's 5,160. We are getting a 25% boost at the end of the day on the total parlay, so it could be a worthwhile. But I think I'm taking a stab on the Rome receiving yards as one of my legs here. You can find 2 more here for this DraftKings boost. Then we'll bet some touchdowns because we have the FanDuel promo. We have the 50% boost, which you can use on anything. And then a no sweat, so definitely a first touchdown there. But so where does this leave us? Thinking we have an understanding of everything the Bears are going to attack. We think it's going to be a low Swift game. I think it's going to be, Caleb under duress, but Caleb, of course, scheme passes to DJ Moore. Rome Odunze gets 60-plus yards. If that is the case where, he really is good, that's going to be a low number for him. So where does it leave us on the Vikings story?
Yeah. So one prop that stood out to me, I think that I could be wrong. Obviously, it's week 1. We don't really have any data points. But I personally think that Mason and Jones are going to be a 50-50 split on the ground. And so whether you think that it's going to be I'd lean towards Mason's over just because I'm on McCarthy's under passing attempts, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're going to run the ball pretty well. I know Bears defense was pretty bad at defending the run last year. I do think that Mason, Aaron Jones, I think that this should be a 10.5, 11.5 situation rather than 9.5, 12.5 personally. And that's just how I see the split going, at least. So I think that there is a little bit of value on Mason rushing attempts. I don't know what his yards are at, but I think he's a good player, man. I think that this Vikings O-line is going to be pretty good. So whatever, if you want to back efficiency or attempts, I think both could be a good look.
So we even had, Sam Darnold even getting 67 rush attempts. And now we're talking about JJ McCarthy, who, like you said, thrived in that role at Michigan, can be more of a game manager. How do you see that distribution, do you think, happening? Because not like JJ McCarthy's a big boy. It's not like he's a Jaden Daniels Lamar. Even he's not even as big as a Trevor Lawrence in a length perspective, obviously not like a Josh Allen. We're gonna see just a couple design keepers that include a fourth down, sneak. Where are we seeing McCarthy in that situation?
Yeah, he had a quote that I saw. I saw it sometime. It was kind of corny, but he's like, when we're on the field, I'll do anything to win. So if I have to run it, sneak it, whatever, I'll do it. But I think that he profiles as a Herbert level rusher. I wouldn't put him in that Allen tier for sure. Herbert, Mahomes, really don't see design runs outside of maybe sneaks. But I definitely think that first game of his career, probably going to be a little bit jittery back there. And we'll definitely take off if it's 3rd and 5 and he needs to pick up 6 or something,
Where does that leave you on the thoughts for an interception?
For an interception. I think Caleb's going to throw an interception. Caleb's going to get fooled by this blitz at least once, bro. He'll probably have they just got to catch it. The Vikings do at least.
Let's take a look at Caleb Williams and his H-to-H. Just out of curiosity, obviously, again, new scheme, new system. But I am curious if he was throwing any picks against Minnesota last season, because Caleb actually, while he had some turnover-worthy plays, wasn't a huge INT guy, but Flores did not get him last year with anything crazy. That could just mean that he's set to throw in this week. Yeah, he was on the situation where he was doubling up on his games rather than spreading out when he was throwing those picks last year.
Yeah, that's pretty, honestly, it's very surprising that how bad he was, but he only had 6 picks. I mean, that's good, at least protect the ball.
Absolutely. I wish it was a plus money number. That was minus 108, which isn't horrible, but I would expect a little bit more. But maybe that's just more proof for our case there that because if it is a more pass heavy offense, it's going to lead to more potential pass heavy. Let's look at his pass attempts last year, right? Let's see. Pass TD, pass yards. We got a bunch of markets here, of course. Where's pass attempts? Let's
Eric,
see what Caleb. Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts on reverse correlation parlays? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, when you're betting a reception over, yards under, or vice versa.
Yep.
I think they're fun as hell. I think there's definitely some expected value there, depending on what you're devigging from the parlay. And I think that as long as the books, because obviously it's new week this year. I know they came very popular to the timeline last year, so maybe some edges were killed in that regard. But no, I think that there's absolutely players that like obviously hit rate's not the whole thing. Don't get me wrong, but in football, it's you can usage and like the ways that teams use players in certain situations do dictate how they are as players. And I think that like some guys really do fit that profile, and like if the price is right, the price is right, and they can be a good bet.
What do you think about like Jefferson under receptions, but then over yards? Because Jalen Johnson's one of the best corners in the league. So
Yeah,
I would not be shocked if he gets a couple explosives in there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that Dennis Allen was a big man coverage guy. I could be wrong on that. So don't.
no, he was. The Saints were huge.
Yeah. So I like if you think that, overall volume is going to be bad, maybe McCarthy's a little bit spotty sometimes, but Jefferson's getting open. Maybe for some chunk plays with a spotty Bears secondary. Actually a bad Bears secondary. Had cornerback room at this point without Gordon and Jalen Johnson. I would maybe like check that out, just see if you
yeah, I'm looking right now because like I want to build out. Let's gotta go to the over. There's so many markets. Because I do want to build out like the boost. Because like again, if we're taking like a 25% boost, we can sacrifice some EV up front because we will be getting it back with the boost there. So we got these two legs because this reception is 6.5.
Yeah,
just
and
under. Hold on here. I'm interested there because we bet that under, but even at this point, right? Because we have, if we do this parlay of Rome 60 plus, Jefferson under 6.5 receptions, DJ Moore 2+ first quarter receptions, and then now if we add Justin Jefferson 60 plus receiving yards, we're at 18-1 pre-boost plus 2250 after the boost.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
That sounds good to me. I'm locking and loading that in there. This is a fun one. It's a 25% boost. We're on Monday Night Football, of course. And again, Ty's done a great job giving out a couple of nice plus EV plays still before game time. We still have the EV feed here that we can maybe lock in a straight, but always hard to see with this freaking ring light, but locked it in for the boys. Beautiful. Let's we have a no sweat on both FanDuel and DraftKings, if I'm not mistaken. We do. I think, Ty, the best way to go about those, I mean, not the best way generally speaking, but just for tonight, if we want to like keep it simple, just bet a first tutty on both of them, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So talk to me. Let's we can pull up some first touchdowns on DK. We can pull up some of the market as well. But who's hitting pay dirt first? Doesn't matter to me which side we're going for the game, for which team I should say.
Dude, I want to see some numbers, but I feel like Cole Kmet might be a little undervalued. He's someone who's going to see the field a ton, especially in the red zone, I would think. Because they don't really have wide receiver 3. It's like Olamide Zaccheaus, who he's going to play over Burden to start. But Cole Kmet's a good player. I think that, let's see, I'm trying to find where he's at. He's at 25-1. So he's like below, like the Vikings and Bears defense is ahead of him for like first touchdown scorer.
For somebody who's on the field often, that is surprising. Very surprising.
So I think he's going to be on the field, definitely using the red zone as tight ends usually are. Definitely don't think he's not going to get anything schemed to him because he's like Cole Kmet. But actually, who knows? Ben Johnson loves using the play action. Tight ends can always just.
I was going to say Ben Johnson's throwing touchdowns to offensive linemen, man. Maybe Cole Kmet, he's got some hands, he can get something going there. Or you think the market's clearly pricing his new toy, Mr. Loveland, with some better odds than Kmet. So it seems like there's a little market love, though. Again, we're talking about a difference of plus 500 to guys. That's 20-1 and 25-1. But the little bit of love coming to Loveland could be honestly nothing. Because this is what I'm saying, Ty, and like I hope Chad can pick up something big from this as well. Like yesterday's a great example. Obviously, everybody's all on Ken Walker, but like I bet Charbonnet touchdown at 4-1 because it's like if they're really going to be this run-heavy team, you're backing up, a backup running back that they've raved about all camp that's really done some good things for them. It's going to be 4-1. A little do we know. I can't say I sat here and expected the entire flip of Charbonnet being the lead back yesterday, but that was like a good situation where it's like, kind of reading the tea leaves and going from there. I kind of love the Cole Kmet. I'm not going to lie. And it's 25-1. And it's a no sweat. I think that might be kind of enough said because Loveland could be that shiny new toy. I know people really absolutely love him and his draft capital, speaks for that. But I'm riding Kmet here with this DK no sweat right now, and I just locked it in on DK.
Okay, Kmet, I'll ride with you. I just put my put my no sweat in. $10 max, right?
$10 is my max
Okay.
receipt there. A lot of people have some different limits there based on your betting style, history, etc. But
The $200 no sweat.
$200 no sweat. We all, I mean, again, like some people have gamed that system to actually their advantage, but most of the people that brag about them probably did not, unfortunately. But let's shift our focus to FanDuel. We got a couple minutes till game time. I know everybody's we got some beauties to cook up here, but Ty, so we have this is a fun promo from FanDuel. It's like absolutely worth betting. It's the 2 million jackpot. You bet any player first time tutty or anytime tutty. They score the first or the last. You get a chance of bonus bets. You throw $5 on it. It's definitely a fun little promo to ride with. So we have commit anytime. I'm somebody who's on the under, and I'm like really wouldn't be shocked if this game is like 14-10. Like I really wouldn't be. So of course any touchdown might be hard to come by here. Anytime, like Zacchaeus, like I know he did good things with Washington, and like again, if Ben Johnson is good, then like I'm sure they'll scheme for him. I know Burden was hurt all summer. We know like a Josh Oliver or even like a Jalen Naylor filling in. We know they have Thielen back as a Viking. I mean, Thielen's 4-1.
First touchdown, Vino.
What's up?
Vino said commit anytime or first. We're doing first.
We bet first, brother. We bet first with a no sweat. So we're not out here, saying we're taking 10 units on the first tutty, using the no sweat. So having some fun there. But yes, first touchdown for Komet. I'm looking at some of these prices now because on FanDuel, it's for their promo.
What is FanDuel's promo?
Is if you bet at any time touchdown, max $5. If that player, if they hit their anytime, of course you cash. If they score the first touchdown or the last touchdown of the game, you then are entered to win a share of a $2 million prize pool.
Okay.
So you would hit that. So say everybody just Jettas, you bet Jettas at any time, he scores the first or the last, then that prize pool is divided by in bonus bets for however many people bet Jettas.
Okay.
But dude, the first or the last, which is the fun part.
We got to go for someone low key for this, dude. It can't be like, because like I don't want to like get like $15 because I bet like Justin Jefferson to win when everyone's betting that. I want to win $1,000 because the Bears defense scored first on a McCarthy pick six,
Yeah, and do you want to know who I'm thinking right now? My eyes are going toward freaking JJ McCarthy.
Dude, I like that. He's a big body.
My eyes are going to JJ McCarthy. I saw some EV actually to him earlier today when I was looking at Outlier. The price is $5.50 at FanDuel. Again, I know we're taking a promo and a boost 20 minutes for game time, so the EV isn't going to be necessarily going off the rails or anything like that. But I'm locking in McCarthy for this because, like you said, if he really does mean his I'll do anything to win, hopefully he's pushed in that last tutty at the goal line to lock in a W for the Vikings.
Yeah. Wait, so if he scores last, that's what it is. It's last.
It's first or last. So if he scores the second touchdown, you cash your bet regardless. Because you bet anytime touchdown. But if it happens to be the first or the last, then you get the bonus bet split.
Oh, okay. So, and it's a $5 minimum?
It's a $5 minimum, so I just locked in $5 on that.
Me too. Yeah. I'm not going to go crazy on McCarthy. I'm just trying to hit that touchdown jackpot.
As am I. But still, we have a 50% boost. I'm down to use on a straight bet here. And then I think there is a no sweat. Maybe we can. Let me just confirm. We got 2 rewards. No sweat, 50% boost. I'm down to use a 50% boost on something fun right now, but kind of keep it maybe to like a straight bet. So I'm scrolling through some FanDuel right now, see what we can find here.
We gotta find something fun.
Yeah, for everybody who's watching, if you guys are not using Outlier, 7-day free trial. If you scan that QR code top right, if you're watching on your phone, maybe I don't even know how to do that. Just go to betsmart.co, find the Outlier review. But no promo code, just have this QR. If you're watching on your computer, scan that QR. Get a 7-day free trial of Outlier. No results for this filter, which is possible because I have it only the books that I can see. Let's do a refresh though. Switch filters here. Game lines, we're not going to find much here. Props. All right, so nothing at game time based on like my DVIG, which I have it to bookmaker, penny. I can add circa actually as well. Though it's probably not going to change anything. But no, definitely Outliers been working really hard on getting more and more books for their expected value calcs, for DVIG functionality as well. So excited to see them continue to improve. But a 7-day free trial, scan that QR code in the top right corner. But definitely trying to cook up something fun here. This could be for the no sweat.
Do you like Luther Burden under 5.5 receiving yards? Like, do you think he like plays more than like 3 snaps?
I don't think he necessarily does. As just like this is like the scout and bias in me that I definitely need to get over, because I think he's going to be a stud. I know he's been hurt all training camp though. I hate guys like that, but no, I think Luther Burden's definitely on the fade list. Absolutely.
5.5. I mean, he scares me because he definitely like. I know people were giving him the Debo comps because of his yak and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, like he's going to check in for 1 play and catch a screen for 8 yards and never see the field again and cook our under.
Anytime, though, there's a receiver specifically without any position that's missed his time in training camp, I'm always like, yo, like, it's not even me. It's like they actually struggle to get to NFL speed. A lot of those guys fall off and actually never make it to the league. So especially like a mid or late round pick like Burden was, despite the talent. But him being hurt in training camp is does not bode well for him historically.
No. I wonder if there's been any underdog notifications. Any surprising? Oh.
No.
Tank Bigsby just got traded to the Eagles for a 5th and 6th round pick.
I mean, listen, man, Philly keeps doing good stuff. They are just adding talented players, big body with, AJ Dillon, of course, obviously Mr. Quan. I, as a dynasty owner, actually love that. Not to move the goalposts to talk some fantasy there, but no, that's interesting. And initial reaction is whatever Harry Roseman's doing, he's probably cooking in some capacity.
Yeah. Kendrick Bourne back to the 49ers. Watch him have like 50 receiving yards next week.
Oh, absolutely. But Ty, we have I just saw first player on the Bears to catch a pass, DJ Moore at 2-1.
2-1. Oh, dude, I wish it was a little bit better than that.
So do I. He's the chalk there.
Yeah, dude, I really like that. Yeah, first quarter yards. I wish that there was just like a over 0.5 receptions for like -130 or something.
Yeah, just smash that. I mean, maybe live.
Yeah.
I do want to point out though, for everybody who's like, watching in chat, wants to build out some plays with us, these boosts on FanDuel are also for live. So if you don't bet them right this second, you can utilize them live. But
really?
Yes, you can. We have a no sweat as well. I'm always cool with putting this no sweat now. It doesn't have to be a parlay to just take another side. Like we took a Bear first tutty. I can gladly take a Jalen Naylor first tutty and not think twice with this other no sweat.
I think I'm gonna do some Jefferson uncorrelated stuff for mine, and I just want to see what it gets to. I don't really see him having a huge game through there, but like 80 yards and under 6.5. I wonder what that pays out.
Yeah, I'm curious as well. Jalen Naylor's best price for any time is actually at FanDuel 470. Better than Novig, better than DK. FanDuel's a book I like to sometimes DVig from for this market, especially when Circa has this market as well. That's interesting to note. Let's go. I just want to make sure with DraftKings, because like as much as like again we're betting right before game, like I can't not be price sensitive, even when sometimes it's fun to just not be. But this is actually the best price. I'm using that no sweat. Talk to me.
Eric, here's the play. I'm about to lock this in for myself.
Yes, sir.
Justin Jefferson under 6.5 receptions, but 80 plus yards. And then DJ Moore over 5.5 receptions and under 57.5 yards. With the boost, it's plus 6,798, 10 to win 680.
I love that. I honestly love that.
That's my bet. I'm locking
that. Ty is on one right now, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I went with my no sweat to lock in Naylor first tutty. We know that they've done a good job with we can't run the ball frequently, but we know that Naylor has done a good job in his what am I trying to say? In when what's his name? Addison has been missing time. Naylor did a good job of finalizing and getting some plays. Did score last year for whatever that's worth. Good amount of touchdowns. Totally new team, but just out of curiosity now, looking at some target share. He's below Aaron Jones and Hawk, but again, we're missing out on their number 2 receiver. And of course, Jetta's going to dominate those that target share when you got a guy like Jetta's.
Eric, what is no sweat? Does that mean? What does that mean?
If you bet $10, if you lose it, you just get that back in bonus bets.
Oh,
so
okay.
I can punt it on an on a negative EV bet, get it back, and then hopefully try to capitalize on some EV with it on the next time.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, you put it on a long shot.
Yeah, so I put it on a long shot, Naylor first tutty. So have some good exposure, but I do have this 50% on DK on FanDuel still passing prop. McCarthy's at 214 at FanDuel for his passing yards, which is just lower than we've seen. Some game specials, just looking around. So many fun markets on these primetime games. The rec books doing their best to do anything they can to get some action. At this point, maybe I'm going to be betting in a correct score for some shits.
They definitely are. The rec books are just looking to get people their fix.
Oh, absolutely.
Get them coming back.
What was I looking for? I love the markets though. That is like the most like X in a game, most receiving yards, most. Oh, wow. They have now the defensive player anytime touchdown. The game specials. No, absolutely not. A lot of those game specials, I just have to say, are most of the time for everybody to chat negative EV. If you can find a great spot, feel free to and get down on them. But most of the time, they are negative EV. I don't like. It's like hard because I'm definitely down on Odunze, so like I'm being a little bit I'm kind of contradicting myself, but like staring at Rome most receiving yards at 5-1, like if it's the time, I mean, I know it's a tough matchup, but if they're really going to be chucking the rock, if it's not, I mean, it could obviously always be Jetta's. He's of course the favorite there, but I'm checking DK there to see if they have the same market.
Josh Oliver, is he sneaky?
He might be sneaky, honestly. He definitely might be sneaky.
Okay, first touchdown. Who's scoring first? Jordan Mason. Screw it, dude. No
Jordan
sweat.
Mason. Yeah, send it.
And
so
max refund is $5. So great. Okay, well, whatever.
Rushing yards, Jordan Mason, most rushing yards. Let's see what that
dude.
Dude,
I actually think he should be close to favorited for that. Is he below Swift and Jones?
He's plus 320. Swift is the favorite at plus 130. Aaron Jones 140. Mason plus 320.
What is Swift to not be the favorite, not lead the game in rushing?
It's just a one-way market, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. I bet Novik has that. Okay, I'm looking at some stuff right now. So, dude, I do like Mason there. I'm not going to lie. I don't really know who. I think that it's going to be close regardless, man. Like, I think they're all going to have, like, similar touches, and I think the Vikings will have better efficiency than Swift. Of course, Swift can kind of crank out a long one if he gets loose, but.
With the 50% boost, plus 480 for Mason to have the most rushing yards of the game.
I like that, dude. I think that's a good price.
I like that as well.
I'd probably have them all like around like 45 to 50, you know? Like that's pretty close.
That is pretty close. When I get crazy, JJ McCarthy 300-1 or 30-1.
Oh, I was gonna say 300-1. That would dude, you don't know. What if he's Lamar Jackson, you know?
Absolutely. That would be crazy.
You don't know.
You don't know. We'll do another run through of EV. You know, we got a game 15 minutes, first Monday Night Football of the season, which is always so fun. But I guess while we have some time, of course, we will look through some other markets here as well. But what was your biggest takeaway, Ty, from week one? Like, what surprised you the most, good, bad, or ugly, from anybody in the league?
Yeah. I guess surprise. I'm not surprised. I guess I'm surprised at how good Daniel Jones looked. I'm not super surprised because, like you said with Steichen, I think that we started to underrate Steichen due to like how bad Anthony Richardson was.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, no, I'm not even gonna say like I'm surprised about that. Yeah, you go. Let me get 30 seconds to think about this.
Absolutely. So people who were on stream for the last 2 weeks knew that I was raving about how I thought DJ was going to cook. I had Colts in 2 of my survivor entries. I had the money line with my favorite plays of the day yesterday. I had Danny Jones anytime tutty yesterday. So like I was all in on the Jones. So that was nice to see. I think my biggest takeaway, which is it's not gonna be a hot take. I'm not looking for like some fishing here. I know that the Lions were going to regress, like that was kind of inevitable,
Yeah.
and we saw it on the first front. But I think the Packers are also just that damn good. I think the Packers are
Yeah.
primed to give Philly a run, and it's pretty clearly Green Bay and Philly as the two best teams in the NFC.
Yeah, it's their defense is legit, dude. Like I don't really care like who they have, who they don't have. Like they just shut down the Lions, bro. I don't care if they don't have Ben Johnson. This is still like a really damn good offense. So I think that they're gonna be scary. They got Jordan Love looked amazing. The receiving core is super deep. Josh Jacobs is a good running back. I mean, they're like a threat to the Eagles for sure. I will say a couple teams that surprised me was obviously the Jets. I have like the Jets to like score under like 19.8 points per game on the year or something like that. That's one of my futures. Did not expect that from that offense, especially against Pittsburgh. But then Dallas. I know Dallas lost the game, but I thought they were gonna get steamrolled. Honestly, dude, like Jalen Hurts had to like try hard his ass off with like these little scrambles over and over again on third down to beat them, and they got bailed out by Lamb having a ton of really bad drops. I think that Dallas could actually be better than we think. Maybe Eberflus. I know Eberflus is obviously a pretty good defensive coordinator. Maybe he's going to make that defense better than you think it should be.
I agree. So I was actually, in your same boat where I was like anti-Dallas from the get-go, and then I was like looking at their roster pre, the first game, and I was looking at their D-line. I was like, obviously you can't just replace Micah, but like they still have good football players on this team. Like they're not like going to be household names, but they have a bunch of like rotational good pieces on that D-line where it's like if they can stop the run, which they struggled with last year, but also continue to pressure the passer, which they did a really good job of, last year, and also did a good job overall defensively, relatively on Thursday, that like maybe they're not going to be like a pushover where I thought Dallas could be one of the worst teams in football, but they're not. But we talked about the Colts quickly. The Dolphins, again, I feel so validated by that game because, again, if you guys have been watching us streaming, a lot of people here have been watching me stream all summer, and toward the end of the summer was talking so much football, and they heard this take because I said Miami worst record was my favorite plays. Like I think Miami is terrible, so I felt so validated in that. But Ty, if you didn't have that sentiment, or if you didn't agree in the first place, after what you saw, man, like that's like a non-fixable situation. Like I don't want to overreact week one.
Yep. No, it's not.
Like that's gone.
Tyreek's going to end up on the Chiefs before the season ends, or he's not going to be a Dolphin. There's no way.
No way.
Tua needs everything to be perfect for him to succeed. He needs a competent O-line, which he doesn't have. You could even question like the weapons, honestly, around him. Like we all think Waddle's pretty good. We all think Tyreek's pretty good. He's regressing, but like, the weapons all of a sudden aren't elite. Like, okay. And then he just can't move, dude. He's had too many concussions. He's cooked. Like he's not like an NFL starter at this point. And don't even get me started on Mike McDaniel, dude. I think he'd be a great offensive coordinator, but you can't have him be like a leader of men. Like that's just not him. Like honestly, dude, there's from the jump you can kind of always tell that like the locker room like doesn't fear him or like really respect him.
No, I think that's really well said because it goes back to what I said with I think could be the case with Ben Johnson, where like some guys are just coordinators, and like I could be so wrong. Time will tell, but like Mike McDaniel, clearly great at scheming up plays, but leader of men doesn't have it. And another thing I think is so underrated, but I think like just for like the public perception, of course you have to be an amazing leader of men for any NFL locker room or any NFL team, but especially when your team plays in Miami, Florida. Like they have every single distraction around you in the world. Like they need somebody who is actually gonna like put belt to ass if they're acting up. When you have all, I mean, we saw that with Antonio Pierce, like in Las Vegas. They come over to Vegas. They have all these clowns like kind of running the show. He was kind of doomed to fail from the get go, so he might be the best example. But then you add in a guy like Pete Carroll, again, not over exaggerate, to one win against a mediocre Patriots team as well. But I think obviously you need that leader event, but I think you really need to double down on those when you're in environments like Las Vegas and Miami. Like those are like serious life distractions for young, rich guys with a lot of money.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And yeah, I don't know like why they wouldn't blow it up at this point, man. Like I know it's just like one game, dude. Like I'm sure maybe they'll play. I don't even know who's the worst pass rush in the league, but sure, if they play them at home, maybe like Tua has like 300 yards and Tyreek has like 120 and Achane gets loose for a couple and they look all good and shit. But at this point, they play any team with that isn't super flawed. Like they're probably gonna lose, man. So maybe they're getting like a top pick, or they probably will get like a top pick next year, and they can restart from Tua.
Yeah, because that evidence is more than overwhelming that they need to do that. But after Sunday night last night, we saw the Ravens do, but unfortunately, the Ravens have done a lot over the past couple of years at this point. Do you think that Buffalo is a better football team, or do you still think that just a blip in the radar?
They're not. The Ravens have like a weird thing about them where it's like they seem destined to lose like every big game for whatever reason. Like because they have Harbaugh, who's a great coach. Lamar's obviously like a 2-time MVP winner. They have Derrick Henry. They have a great defense. Well, on paper, it didn't look too good last night, but it seems like they're missing like that it factor. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that like when the season ends and stuff, you'll look back at like what teams first in EPA per play and stuff. It's probably going to be the Ravens because they'll like blow out some teams like 40-3 and stuff. But when it comes down to it, they're at the point where they just have to like prove it, where they can, win a close game, a close big game, and especially when it comes to playoff time. But that's not a great sign from the way they just gave that game away last night.
No, it's not. And like I do agree with you absolutely. I didn't really devalue Baltimore or Buffalo in my power ratings because I had Baltimore higher prior, and I think they're still the better football team. But Bills defense, man, like that is horrible.
Yeah, the run defense, like Derrick Henry was acting like he was in high school again, just 40-yard rush, 40-yard rush, 40-yard rush. And then he fumbled and kind of screwed that game up. He gave Josh Allen too many chances.
Absolutely. And the coaching decision to kind of like play it soft toward the end, not go all in on, getting that third down, which they, did against the Chiefs or against the Bills, last year, or against the Chiefs last year, they tried just doesn't make sense. And like, you can kind of see it's like locker room, like defeat. But Todd, do you do any survivor pools?
I do like a loser pool with like my buddy and his dad. It's like his dad's in small town Wisconsin. It's just like a bunch of us. It's like $10, so it's more so for fun. I picked the Titans to lose, so it's a little bit. It's like the opposite of a survivor pool, but the same theory.
Yeah.
But now, are you in Circa Survivor?
Nah, did not do Circa. Do also like a very it's honestly a pretty big pool realistically. Like it is only like a $25 entry, but you can buy as many as you want. I go with 4 every year, but there is like a lot of like pretty good overlay. And I had I was on the Colts with 2 of my entries. I went with Philly with my other 2, so it was nice to survive in advance. But early survivor outlook, this line has ballooned because this opened at 4.5 yesterday. I think to me it's a pretty easy click on the Cardinals. I know it didn't look impressive against the Saints, but I think the Carolina Panthers are just another year away from being another year away, man. Like they're just devoid of NFL talent at this point.
Yeah, dude, they're not very good. The Cardinals are like a tough pill to swallow. I really just don't trust them. But at the same time, the Panthers, we're talking about the Dolphins being asked, like, they had all this hype. People all offseason was like, they talk about like a 5-game sample from Bryce Young where like he was fine. He just wasn't like god awful. And, they started to hype up Bryce Young and the Panthers. I live in Charlotte and, everyone was feeling all happy about, the Panthers this year. And it's same old, same old. Bryce Young looks like shit. The weapons outside of Ted McMillan are shit. Chuba, he's fine. The defense is like probably the worst in the league. Like Travis Etienne, when the hell has he had like a blow up game like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe the rookie acquisition there of Titan put a lit of fire under him. I mean, they just traded Tank Bigsby, so maybe they do really see a resurgence from their Etienne, who was obviously cooking for them for a minute. That's a any final any teams now that like you're honing in on, maybe like interested in like a deep future, or again, it's obviously week one, no need to overreact. Chalk central, under central, but anything else catch your eye really?
Yeah, so like I said, Dallas is 0-1, but I think it's like so. I wonder if their win total dropped a win, but if it did, I mean they're supposed to lose that game anyways to the Eagles. So I don't know if it was at like 6.5 or 7.5 after the Parsons trade. If you can get like I don't like I said, I don't know what it's going to be at, but if Dallas's number like dropped a win and you're on top of that, I would definitely hop back on that. One thing too, like Packers, like you said, wheels up on them. 49ers, the 49ers look cooked, dude. Kittle just is out for 3 to 5 weeks. Shawan Jennings is hurt. Purdy's even hurt. McCaffrey's calf is hanging on by a thread. Just got like they have to feed him like 30 touches to like compete. Kind of out on them. But now, do you have anyone that you're high or low on after seeing week one that you think you might have an edge on?
So I know it was ugly, all things considered, but I backed the Titans preseason, and I still like the Titans.
Yeah.
I want to say I like them quite a bit because we're talking about a team with a 5.5 win total, but and also there were some concerning comments from Mr. Brian Callahan, their head coach, about maybe not knowing the rules. Maybe they are an organization that's run by some clowns currently, which is honestly definitely very possible. But I thought Cam Ward was awesome, all things considered. Like you're playing in quite literally the biggest home field advantage with the conditions there. Of course, if it's Denver in December is different than Denver in September, like Buffalo, of course, in January is different, etc. But I thought Cam Ward was still awesome, and
Yeah.
I think that their 5.5 wins. Like, I'm actually playoffs and win totals are out currently. I'm not gonna do line shopping right now. Just look at FanDuel, but I got that honestly at -150, so I did pay some juice, but they're over 5.5 now is -120, so still implied to go over that. It's just one loss, but I don't think that Tennessee is like this god awful football team, though they obviously they played an ugly ass one. The Broncos didn't look great either, but no, I think Cam Ward is really a good football player, and I think that he despite stat lines to the side, I think he played a very good game for his first NFL start with a shitty team in a tough place to play against a great head coach and a good defense.
Yeah, dude. I watched most of that game. Cam Ward had it felt like a million passes down the seam that were either dropped or like just off, but they were all going to be like big explosive plays. They were close, man. The defense looked pretty good. They were definitely flustered Bo Nix. And yeah, Denver. I mean, Denver's probably the best defense in the league, obviously. And like your first game in Mile High as a rookie, dude, that was never gonna go good. But I thought they were honestly pretty unlucky to only put up 12 points there. I know they didn't score a touchdown, or did they? I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that they scored a touchdown. So also
No,
just kind of stalled in the red zone too.
did you have any bad beats this weekend? We can end it off on reflecting on some stuff.
Dude, I don't really think I had any like really too bad of beats. I had two like pretty lucky wins, dude. So I've been really into the longest reception market recently.
Okay.
So I hit a Dante Thornton, if you know who that is, the Raiders rookie. He's like
Yes, they loved him.
Yeah. I had a 20 plus longest reception that was plus 185. And then I had a reverse correlation under 2.5 receptions, 30 plus receiving yards for 750. And he had like a 36-yard catch on like the last pass play of the game. And then I also had a Hollywood Brown longest reception ladder too. And I think you saw that play at the end of the game. So kind of got bailed, let's be real.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
hey, listen, we gotta. It's always nice to complain about the bad beats. It always is like a better process to reflect on the times you get lucky because they do even out. Of course, the negative stuff always sticks into a lot of casual bettors' minds, and it's not the case. You got to always look at some of the good stuff there. Grass is greener. Like I had the Young Wei Koo miss that kick. I had the Falcons money line. Was hoping to cash plus 120 there, but that obviously hurt. Then I also had Danny Dimes 2+ tutties 20-1 yesterday, so that was a nice, beautiful. I had Justin Fields yesterday, 2+ tutties, who of course hit, and that was awesome. Yeah, but nah, the Young Wei Koo, because like I had Ravens money line to close out like a fun parlay that would have been like a nice cherry on top of a great week one. But the second they turned that ball over with like 3 minutes left and like they kicked it away. I was like, this game is over. Like it's shot. But even with Koo, like I wasn't watching the game, I was watching on the real app, and I was just like, once I saw like fourth down, like they're in field goal range, I was just like, there's no way in hell this kick is going in. And lo and behold, he shanked that. But also, I don't know if you saw Tax. I've never been betting a ton, but like DraftKings, they did this like ghost leg thing where basically if like one leg of your parlay misses, they'll pay you out the rest of the parlay minus the one leg. So I guess fortunately I was able to get that because I had a Nick Chubb anytime touchdown with Chase Brown and Daniel Jones in a 3-legger. Of course, those two hit early, and I actually bet the Chubb putty before the news of him being the bell cow that came out. So I had like 35 cents of value on that. So I was like, all right, let's ride. And of course it didn't hit, but I guess one of the Square promos ended up coming through for me yesterday.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, Danny Jones is sharp. Fields is sharp. Yeah, man. I think both offenses are just looking up. One last team I want to shout out, dude. Chargers. I think the Chargers are legit. Well coached. Justin Herbert, dude, the weapons around him are so deep. I'm a big lad guy. Keenan, I think, you keep him in his slot role. He's still really effective. And then Quentin Johnson, I love how they used him. He looks like he's taken a leap. And then you just got casually like second-round pick Trey Harris and Lambert Smith, a guy who had a ton of camp buzz, just like as your wide receiver 4s and 5s. So I think they could even survive a couple of injuries and still be pretty lethal. And, Hampton was kind of catching a lot of flack. I don't really know why. I thought he looked pretty good. He looks like he has juice, strong runner and stuff. But
I saw that as well. Like, not going to claim to be a running back film expert or like all 22 guy. And I saw some of the, even like the metrics were like, negative yards over expected, et cetera. But like from just the naked eye, it looked good. And I agree. Like seeing Greg Roman go out and run that offense the way they did, like, just because of his history and Harbaugh's history, like I'm reluctant to believe. Like I wouldn't be shocked if this week they just run the ball 300 times. But it's like, what are you doing? Like what you did in Brazil is what you should do all the time. So I'm actually still struggling to like where to rate LAC because I thought that they would like regress. I'm not again overreacting to one game against obviously a massive opponent, a massive W, a team they always do come prepared to play. Strong, as well as the Chiefs going through all the injuries they had on their pass catchers. So always context and everything NFL wise. But I would be lying if I wasn't like very impressed with what LA ended up doing.
Yeah. One of these years, Herbert's going to just like have a MVP caliber year. Think of this one.
He's a stud. He's an absolute stud. Like I thought it was ridiculous that people were like writing him off the way they did. Like as a Commander fan, obviously JD5 fan, I'm ranking my quarterbacks after the year. Like I'm still have Herbert over JD5. Like I hope that changes because JD5 is so good, but like Herbert is a hell of a good football player.
Yeah, they're both good. It just I seriously remember people putting him in Tua conversations. Like that's actually insane to look back at.
Absolutely insane. But everyone, I know the game's starting, so but we did bet more 2+ receptions. Jefferson, I bet I should say more 2+ receptions first quarter. Jefferson under 6.5 receptions. Just Jefferson 60+ receiving yards. Odunze 60+ receiving yards. SGP at DK 22.5 to 1. Cole Kmet first touchdown 25 to 1. McCarthy anytime for the FD jackpot plus 550, and then Jalen Naylor first touchdown 22 to 1, no sweat. And then Jordan Mason, 50% boost, most rushing yards at FanDuel. So, Ty, this was really fun, my brother. I'll be streaming definitely on Wednesday, maybe tomorrow. Definitely Wednesday, Thursday, though. Ty, shout yourself out. And, you're always free to hop back on with me anytime you're available.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me on. Sorry for showing up a little bit late, but glad I was able to make it. And if you guys want to check me out, I do mainly YouTube now, so it's straight betting on YouTube, trying to get 4 or 5 videos out, obviously during NFL season, and obviously it's going to pick up big come NBA. So make sure to go check out my YouTube channel. If you like this type of content, you probably like what I do too. So yeah,
absolutely,
give it a shout.
Absolutely. Hit YouTube, straight bet, and also Echo BetSmart on YouTube. Have video tool reviews that have gone out. We have a bunch of short form videos as well. Go live there. Hit that subscribe button on both. Follow us both on X. And also shout out to Outlier.bet. All the research that I did to find these players were all utilizing Outliers plus EV, their player prop screen. And if you scan the QR code in the top right, 7-day free trial for Outlier.bet. So, Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Outlier, and let's make some money tonight, boys. Have a good
Yes,
night.
sir.